So part 14, just to sum up, unbecoming the title of First Lady, something I never asked for, something I shouldn't have never went into or been involved with. 2023 was an eye-opening year for me. It was hell. It was sprinkles of joy. It was a test of my strength, a test of what I was made of, a test of who would you believe that you are? Will you believe what this man is saying about you, or would you believe who God called you to be? It was a real test that I didn't plan on it. But what I do know is going through this journey, this spiritual journey of healing, is levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I explained it to my therapist and also to my aunt that it's like playing Mario Brothers. And you on level 1 and they have this castle, and you get to the castle and you save the princess and they go, ha ha ha, she ain't even in here, see you on the next board. That is how I describe my healing journey. Once I complete a level and I think I saved the princess, she not there, go to the next level. And you got to fight those monsters, and you got to beat those boards and go to the next level and go to. So it's levels to it, and it's a test at the end. And this test was because the first thing I said when I became single, it wasn't the first thing I said when I became single, but one of the things I had learned was I'm going to always choose me. I'm going to always pick me. I'm going to always do what makes me happy. I'm going to do what's best for me. That was what I kept saying. And then I'm in this situationship where I'm not choosing me. I'm not picking me. I'm forsaking me. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to everything but me. I'm questioning me. I'm sacrificing me. I'm hurting me. I'm doing everything but what I promised myself I would do. I betrayed me. Even though, like I said, I never wanted to be a first lady because, in all honesty, I've seen the worst of the worst pastors, and I've seen how humiliated, how embarrassed, and how I don't even know the word to use, but I've seen how pastors make their first lady look, and I never wanted to be in that category. And that's exactly where I had put myself in that situation. And it was to the point where he knew that I didn't want anything to do with being a first lady, that he gave me the nickname right off the front, First Lady. Saved it in his phone. When I called, that's how he answered. When he said good night, that's what he said. When he said good morning, that's what he said. Like, it was always First Lady this and First Lady that. And he didn't have a physical church. He just wanted to be an online podcast pastor. Now, in his past, he said he had been invited to speak at churches and that he had a church and he closed it down. And it was all of the things that I myself was anti, hypocrite. You getting up there, you preaching the word, and you saying something else, and then you going home and you living a completely different life. I mean, you committing sin, you breaking the commandments, like you doing all of the things, yet you sitting here telling these people what they should be doing. I don't agree with that. And yet and still I got caught up in this lifestyle. And at first I didn't see a way out. And I had almost gotten used to the manipulation, to the gaslighting, to the love bombing, to the fact that we were trauma bonding. We were bonding over the trauma. He had a fear of abandonment and rejection. So did I. We could relate. We were trauma bonding. And he was skilled because he has had years of practice. I think he said he started preaching in his 20s, you know. And so we had come from maybe similar backgrounds, but because my mom's a minister too, but it was all bad. It was nothing good. It was the hardest year I've ever faced to date, except for the year that I lost my brother and my father in 2009. But it made me like, okay, God, I prayed, like I got down and I prayed and I made this list and I asked God for all of these, you know, characteristics and all these, things that I wanted my partner, my future husband, my mate to have. And while I was praying to God, evidently the devil was listening and he was like, well, I'm going to send this nigga right on in and I'm going to see, if she fall for it. And I did. I say I went in with my eyes wide open, but I don't believe that I did. I believe that I went in seeing him for what I wanted, what was on the list, for who I wanted him to be. And he was showing me he was not that. And I have to go back to when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I had to believe him once he was showing me over and over again that he was the prize and I was just supposed to keep trying to win him over. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I had to go through some dark nights. I had to go through, like, it would be words and things that he would say, and I would have to look in the mirror and be like, am I that? And I had to convince myself that, it was not me that was messed up, it was him. It wasn't me that was going through those things and trying to be whatever. It was what he was going through. So it was not easy at all. Because one thing about those pastors, baby, they studied their Bible so they know it frontwards and backwards. They know how to use it to manipulate. They got the gift of gab. They can talk you just right out of your underwear. They can wine and dine you. They can smooth talk you. They can love bomb you. They can gaslight you. They can do all of the things that you think that I just spot that shit from a mile away. I know what that's about. I know what he doing. I know what he into. All of the things that you think you know and you able to block it and dodge it and stuff, it comes dressed in the very thing that you know you don't want. And there's a lot of stuff that happened that I didn't even, go into detail. But this is my truth. I thought I was over it. I thought I had buried that part of my life. I thought I had blocked it out. I thought my memory had been erased for that year until I was triggered. I was listening to Whole Tactic, and it just made me realize that the things that he said he had done, or the things that he was talking about, I had experienced that shit firsthand. I had went through it firsthand, and I wasn't over it. I wasn't, prepared. I wasn't in a good headspace to be jumping into something at that time, but I was wounded. And I was pouring into everybody's cup. I was giving, I was doing, and nobody was pouring into my cup except for this man that came along that said the right things during the day, and he tore me down at night. So I was very, very, very vulnerable. And he said all the right things, and I just went for it. And definitely a lesson learned, and he has made it so much harder for the men to come after him, which I'm trying to change. I don't want a future man to pay for the mistakes of a past man. So I'm in therapy working on that part.